Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic in our beautiful Music Town studios here on the second floor of Hockey Town in downtown Detroit. And we do this each week, bring in some local artists and sit down and chat, find out a little about their music and what they're all about, and then hear that music as well. Special guest today is Ash Harris, a.k.a. Acoustic Ash.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to our
Thank
studios. Glad to have you in here. This is the first time actually we've met.
It is.
I love the fact I can, find music or people recommend artists or whatever, and I can't even tell you how I found your music, so I don't know, but I'm glad I did. I was impressed and loved hearing it, so I wanted to have you on here. So again, welcome and thanks for coming in. Do appreciate that.
Thank you.
And as if you'll hear her talking, obviously you have an accent. I'll say an accent. You're originally from England.
Yes. Right in between Manchester and Liverpool.
Okay.
So something between Oasis and the Beatles.
Oh.
And that's
That's
us.
a good way to put it. That must have been fun though. With that in that area and the whole concept of the music and the Beatles and everything.
Oh yeah, the vibe, like the Beatles, you would think that the Beatles were still playing every week. Like the Beatlemania is still there,
Really?
big time. And the Cavern obviously reopening, and they have things going on there all the time. So you can go to either city, Liverpool or Manchester, and there's music everywhere. And I'm from a little place called Warrington, which is right in the middle.
Okay.
And it's booming with music. Like, it's quite funny because when we talk about it, I say, like, it reminds me a lot of Detroit, that you don't have to walk more than 10 yards to hear something different than you just heard, and it doesn't sound the same, but it sounds just as good.
Yeah. That's cool. I didn't realize. I mean, obviously, I would imagine not ever being there, but I'm thinking, it's got to be everywhere. Still, the ambiance of the Beatles, because it was so huge, obviously.
Yeah, and people come from all over the world too, so that kind of brings the hype back again. So before it even gets a chance to settle, there's like more people in the city asking about the Beatles and trying to find out the history and going on the little tours. And they have, like, where the Albert Docks are and stuff, they have a lot of the pop-up museums.
Okay.
And so, like, the one that they had the one time, you'd walk in and the stairs that went up were all the different names of the albums in different colours. So that was really cool.
As you're saying that, I'm thinking, where the Beatles for Abbey Road, where they crossed, that's got to be a major mess when people try to get their pictures of walking across. I can only imagine, right?
So it is, I reckon, but, like, people will do that on every single crosswalk that you can think of, like, just to get a picture that's like it. It's more like when you walk around the city, there's a lot in Liverpool, a lot of music, a lot of history, because obviously with the docks, and we have people coming over from Ireland and then bringing that music, and then that music got formed in England, and then it was taken over here, and then it was brought back from here and changed the music in Liverpool, which went back to Ireland. So it's really interesting that vibe is still happening now. Like, there's a lot of people that I've met in Michigan that want to go to Ireland, and then they come back and they're writing different styles again, and it's really cool.
So, just because you're exposed to those different things and it's affecting how you're writing songs? Is what you're saying?
I think that, like, songwriters are like sponges. Like,
Okay.
Or at least we hope to be. In the fact that, like, you don't ever want to write the same thing, but you want to take feels of things that inspire you and let that help form your style.
Okay.
I think, like, Bob Dylan is probably the most famous person I can think of in terms of doing that. Like, the way that he started out going across all the different coffee shops, and he would take a piece from each person of what he liked and make it his way of doing it. And, like, there's no one out there that plays and sings like Bob Dylan, but he still sells out stadiums being Bob Dylan,
Yeah.
And he formed that the whole way, like his outfit, his style, the way he played, adding the harmonica, all of that was a building process.
And even taking his name from the poet. So, just a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything to form his
interesting.
own self, because when he started out, he didn't really have that idea of what his self was. He would have known his core, but I guess he helped to use everything around him to help build that person that he actually was. And
He had the passion, and he was like, okay, let me just
Yeah.
learn from all these people and take what I can. That's
it's a bit
interesting.
like when
yeah.
you go in the kitchen, right, and you're making a meal, and it's like, okay, well, I know I've got the chicken. What do I have in this cupboard? And what's in that? They'll probably be okay together. And it's kind of like a mix. And sometimes, you know, you'll try things and be like, maybe this isn't my actual thing that I want.
That might be the first time someone's compared songwriting to cooking of chicken. you know?
It's no secret that I like both.
Okay. Well, how long ago did you leave England?
I moved here March 4th, 2016.
Okay, not long ago.
So nearly, be 3 years yesterday?
Yes. Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's gone fast. 3
Yeah.
years yesterday.
Yes. Oh, wow. Okay.
But my family have like yo-yoed between America and England for a long time.
Okay.
Like my granddad was in the American Air Force, and he met my nan in England. They ended up back here. My mum met my dad in the English army. They ended up back in England. I met Katie and ended up back over here.
It's not an unusual story with the military. And,
Yep.
Yes, I actually have a relative that did the same thing. So yeah, that's pretty normal. But so you've only been here a few years, but you call this home now, I'm assuming, and okay.
They're like two different lives. Like, the only way to explain it is I went home to see my dad at Christmas, my sister getting married, which was awesome. And we were talking about it, and he's like, so how do you find it? And I was like, well, it's different. I'm like, even coming back to England, it's still home, but it's a different home. Like, then you come back to America, and you're like, I'm home. It's a different home, but I'm home. Because they're two worlds, although there are similarities, they're so different that you get to enjoy all of it on both sides, but you would never be able to just mesh it. Like, it wouldn't mesh, but enjoying those two separate parts together is brilliant.
Okay. Now, do you, obviously the influence with the Beatles and, all the music there, has that influenced your songwriting, what you do today?
I would say John Lennon more so than the actual Beatles themselves, but John Lennon and, his always wanting to make the world a kind of better place. Like, that's a big influence. Equally, my parents listened to absolute separate types of music. So my mum was listening to like Chicago and Tracy Chapman, and my dad was listening to Phil Collins, and getting to listen to all those different types of music, even just at home, kind of helped to form the way that I found music. I didn't always play guitar. I always sang, but I got starting to get left at many gas stations for the choices of song, even at a young age. We went to Disney World with my uncle and aunt when I was like 7. And the whole road trip from West Virginia to Florida, I wouldn't stop singing Lipstick on Your Collar. Oh. So apparently Connie Francis is not allowed in the car anymore. So that's been a running joke, is that I always seem to find the songs that people don't always sing.
Okay.
But they're the ones that I tend to like the most from the albums and stuff.
So how do you, you've mentioned the influences from your parents, the songs and music they played. Where did you find your niche that this is where I belong in the music world?
I think that it's never really found. If I'm honest, like, I feel like a bit like Dylan, like, you're always evolving and you're always becoming that next stage. I kind of compare it to any kind of romanticism that you have. Like, if you were to go back now and be with your first love that you ever had, you would probably absolutely clash and never go out on a date in the first place, because you evolve as a person.
Think about that one for a minute. Okay, yeah.
And like, it might be nice to see them, it might be nice to say hello to them, but it might not be the same kind of feeling you would have now.
Right.
And I feel like as you mature through life and you get more life experience, and the more you're exposed to, the more that helps to mold you. Like, I feel like I'm probably a really big empath, and so, when things are bad in the world, it actually hurts. It doesn't feel good, and I don't have millions upon millions of dollars where I can go out and donate and help, and I don't have all the time to be able to go and drop everything that I have to go and help in different places. But one thing that we all have is a voice, and I feel like if we use the voice in the right platforms, you can reach the right people. It only takes one person to hear you and get the message and spread that message to make a difference,
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute here, about all the different things you get involved with on that. But I want to go back to So, all these experiences and everything, I mean, what was it, and do you know at what point in your life that it was like, okay, music is my thing, this is what I need to do? Was there something that influenced that and drove you to that?
Um, I don't actually know.
Okay.
I know that I always used to write poems. I would always write poems, but in my head they were always songs. But whenever they came out, because I didn't play anything, they were just poems. And so I would say that writing lyrics had probably been the first thing that I've been doing for maybe 11 years before I even played anything.
Okay.
And we had gone through quite a lot growing up. It'd been a military lifestyle, army brat, moving from place to place and hearing and seeing things maybe you shouldn't at young ages, but that, like I say, they help to form you as a person. And so my outlet would be to write and to sing. So that became my way of being my own voice. Like, that was almost like a journal. I hated writing journals. I hated writing stories. I hated doing all the things other kids seem to like doing, writing diaries and being like, please don't read my diary. I would be like, please don't read my mind, because I have this song that's all mine and you can't have it yet. But it became a way that I was able to express myself and escape myself almost.
Okay.
Like, adolescence was a really tough time, and we'll get to it later, but that's why I do a lot of work with the things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became a place where I could escape everything that I was going through and let people know they weren't alone in it as well.
Yeah.
And so probably around the age of 15, I would say it became the age where I was like, I don't want to do anything else in the world but this.
Yeah. You know in your heart that, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, all right. Well, great. We got more to talk about, but how about we hear a song?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. And do you, correct me if I'm wrong, do you have a new release out or just recent release?
I am currently recording
Okay.
a new EP/album. Haven't decided.
Okay.
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 So it's a work in progress, but I did just write a new song this week that you will hear today as well.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
So I beg of you to join me, raise your voices and unite. Don't you think it's time? Too many hearts are broken, it's taken far too many lives. The choices we can make this right. Don't feel the war and in the dark you'll be the light. I know that we are stronger if we embrace love tonight. Embrace love tonight. Tired of watching news. It tells me everything that I should say and do. It tells me I'm at war with you, but it ain't the path that I wanna choose. Instead, I'll take your hand, yes, and I'll walk you through the prejudice, my friend. I'll be there by your side, 'cause I know the love is gonna win this fight. And so I beg of you to join me, raise your voices and unite. Don't you think it's time? Too many hearts are broken, it's taken far too many lives. The cycle we can break to put this right. tabloids make me sick. As you print the lies and hate that lead to this, well, tell us these are facts. Oh, is anybody looking into that? Burn up my paper, don't put it in the trash, and let the ashes immerse into the sky. No, don't ever let it come back, 'cause I beg of you to join me, raise your voices and unite. Don't you think it's time? Too many hearts are broken, it's taken far too many lives. The cycle we can break to put this right. Don't fuel the fire with hate, and in the dark you be the light. I know that we are stronger if we embrace love tonight. Embrace love tonight.
Powerful.
Thank you.
This is a newer one. The upcoming.
This one is going to be on the upcoming. I
Upcoming.
haven't recorded for quite a long time.
Okay. Okay.
Which is a blessing and a curse. It means people have heard a lot of the music already. But this is a song that I say kind of encapsulates what I am as an artist, like standing for equality and diversity.
Mhm.
And I wrote this when the race riots were actually going on a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I was watching the news, and like I said, empath, I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. And
Mhm.
I went down into a friend's basement, and I just started writing. And I was like, this is what I can do.
Does that happen a lot where something you see, an event or something like that,
Oh,
and just
yeah.
inspires you and a song just pops right out?
Yeah, more so I would say than anything, that's a huge, I don't like using the word inspiration, but it is inspiration, but I
Uh-huh.
wish it didn't have to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's something that triggers that humanitarianism that makes you just want to make a difference.
Right.
Like, makes you just want to do something. And like I said, I'm lucky enough that I've been given a platform to be able to do that.
I think a lot of musicians that, it's like, well, I have this gift. This is how I'm going to, help spread the good
Right.
part of, what we can do and inspiration and all of that. So, yeah. It was interesting. You kind of lost the accent when you were singing, though. I was like...
So there's a running joke about that, and I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But I do joke with people whenever I do, because there's a song that I wrote that's British.
Okay.
Because people are always like, oh, you don't sound British when you sing.
No,
So,
I know. After a couple lines, it's like, okay.
so I don't know whether it's Connie Francis to blame or or Tracy Chapman, but someone's
that's
taking
funny,
the blame
yeah.
for it.
Very interesting. I guess like some actors, their speaking voice or and get in the role, it's like two different sounds. It's like
I
that was
compare it to like
interesting.
learning to speak. Like if you're a foreign person, for example, and you learn to speak American English, then you have an American accent when you speak English. So I guess when you're learning to sing, if you listen to more American music, then you
Good
start
point, yeah.
developing the tones and the delivery of the American artist. I have no idea.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I was kind of taken aback there for a minute. Like, yeah, wait a minute. Okay. Well, I want to go back to, because we were talking about you're so involved in helping, different, I guess, causes, a good way to put it. One of your songs I saw was about suicide.
Yep.
And then there was another one about the knives, which I'm not familiar what that was.
No More Knives
No More
campaign.
Knives, yeah.
That's currently in Liverpool.
Okay.
There was a guy that was stabbed to death.
Okay.
It was actually a misidentity as well, so no one should ever lose their lives that way. But it
Right.
wasn't even him that they were looking for.
Oh, okay.
And so this man has lost his life, and he would have been 40 this month, I believe. And so it kick-started the No More Knives campaign, because knife crime's on the rise.
Mm.
And they're basically reaching out, and a bunch of different artists have been recording the same song by Benny King, and then they've been releasing that song all over and getting it as the awareness for the No More Knives campaign. And obviously being so close to where I'm from, it, you know, it means a lot. So I got a message from a friend that was like, hey, would you do this? And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. I was playing a live gig that day, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it right now. So literally, like, went up to do the set and then just did it there and then it got sent straight to them, which was, you know what, I feel like now we're lucky with technology that you don't even have to be somewhere to help make a difference.
Amazing, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So what, I mean, you're involved in, you know, I think there's some more. I mean, I mentioned two of them, but, you know, it seems like that's a big part of your, you know, your music, that you're involved with these things, you know. I mean, we can all say, yeah, we want to be part of, you know, get on the bandwagon and, you know, and promote these things, but it seems like it's a little different with you, and I'm not sure if I was reading that right or not, but.
No, completely. Like I said, a lot of the times it's real life. Like, I do say my songs are real life inspired songs. Like, they just are about real life. I'm not very good at writing fantasy songs because I don't get it. But they're great. They are great. They're fantastic. It's not my skill set because I have to feel it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing, is I can feel these things. Like, one of the hardest projects that I took on was a friend of mine back from England. Her friend had a son that was born with disabilities, and he passed away. And they were trying to pick a song for his funeral.
Oh my gosh.
And they couldn't find one that was right. They could find songs that were, you know, touching on it, but not really. And so I wrote a song called Pathway of Rainbows, which then, you know, I asked, would they mind if I reached out and saw if this would help anyone else, because I've been told that it gave them a lot of comfort. They're like, yeah, no problem. So I reached out to a couple of groups privately on Facebook and said, look, I don't want to cause any kind of upset. This is something that I've been working on. If you feel it would bring any comfort to anyone, then take it, like, use it, it's yours.
Nice.
And from there I had a bunch of, well, I don't want to say a bunch, a lot of people contacted me, which was crazy, like how many people were contacting me to say that they had lost a child before they'd even made it to Earth, and like this song still reached them.
Wow.
Because it was about the idea of the concept of, you know, from the second that life is alive, like it's a loved child. So that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I put together a video for the song for people, which I asked people if they wanted to. Yeah. If they wanted to, I don't know if I'm going to use the right word for this at all, but something to keep the memory of the child alive forever, is that they would be in this video as tastefully as possible with the pictures, with just like what age they were, what name they are, and, you know, just something small that gave them a face to a song. And so I would receive these pictures, and every single one was just, I was in hysterics every time. And I was like, I have to do this. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, but I have to do this because these people need this. Yes. And so I did it, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I don't know that I could ever do it again. But I'm glad that I did it. Yeah. And the feedback I got back from it was enough to make me know that I'd done the right thing at that time.
Oh, I can't imagine it wouldn't be the right thing. You know, the way, you know, and I don't know the song, all the lyrics, but I can, you know, just imagine. It's like a connection for them, you know, that's something they've lost. So wow.
Like I've never played that song live, and I don't know that I ever will.
Be hard to
it'd be so hard. It'd be one of those that, like, the second the chord came out, I'd be like, oh no, I'm done. I'm
done. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And it's funny because there are songs you write like that like you just about get through to record it, or you just about get through to play it for someone, then you're like, and that's never coming back out again.
Shoo, I made it. I can't do that again. Yeah. Oh wow. So did you put the individual each child had its own video, or all in the same one video? Okay.
And then it is on the Facebook page, so like people that were in the group, they could share it with their families, they could come and see it. Equally, it does have a disclaimer at the front because it is difficult to see, and not everybody can face that, you know. And
wow.
But it was nice to be able to do something for people.
Yeah, kudos to you.
It hurt when I found out that they couldn't find a song. Yeah. You know, and they'd asked me if I would reword someone else's song, and I was like, I can do that. But
that's to ask you, first of all, is huge. That they had the confidence that you're the person that can come up with this song that will do justice for what we're going through. So wow, I mean that's a heavy load,
Yeah.
in itself. But I mean,
It was definitely somewhat intimidating. I had somewhat offered it. I had said that I could work on this song that they were a little bit unsure of for certain parts, and I was like, if you want, I can try and write you something. And she was like, would you? And I was like, yeah. Like,
that's all you can do is try.
I'm like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? How am I gonna do this?
Did that take you a while to actually put the words down, or did it come really?
You know, it came really quite quickly.
Okay. Okay.
Getting through it took a while. Like every time I tried, I'd be like, okay, I gotta take a minute. And I mean, we will laugh at home because I do that when I write. I'm really emotional,
Okay.
and it was like I'll be like crying as I'm like writing this song halfway through it. It's not even a sad song, and I'm like, oh gosh. And then by the end of it, I'm like, okay, I'm good now. We can go.
Oh, you're funny. Oh my gosh. How about we hear another song?
Okay.
Oh gosh.
So we'll go with the whole English American song,
Okay.
just for the crack of it.
All
It's
right.
it's a little bit more fun. It's a bit more upbeat.
Okay.
It's called True. Let's watch movies in the dark as you stretch out your arm and wrap it around me as you do. And then I'll tell you that I'm cold, and if you give me a card, I'll know that this might be true. You might like me too, do 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 do. You might like me too, do 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 do. You might like me too, do 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 do. You might like me too, do 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 do. Let's go traveling the world, and the memories we'll build will only be some of the few that we'll build over a lifetime. If you say that you'll be mine, I'll know that this might be true. You might love me too, do 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 do. You might love me too, do 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 do. You might love me too, do 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 do. You might love me too, do 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 do. Oh, and someday you might just sweep me off my feet. Kneel down so gently as you're finally asking me. And I'll say I do, 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 do. And we'll be true, do, 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 do. I'll say I do, 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 do. And we'll be true, do, 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 do. Yes, I'll marry you.
Acoustic Ash with us here on Behind the Mic. Nice, very nice. Commenting earlier, you got the smaller guitar, which is what did you say? Who was it? Ed
Sheeran. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Divide series. He's done one for the Multiply album. I'm probably saying that wrong as well.
And I'm not sure, so I'll take your word for it.
But it was like I always played Dreadnought electroacoustic guitars, which are like the bigger ones with no cutaways, and so when I would play them, my hands are so small I'd be like stretching like ah. And I got asked to play a wedding in Jamaica
Wow.
last year, now 2018.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll go to Jamaica and play a wedding. And so I was like, oh, I don't want to put my guitar in the bottom of the plane. So I went and swapped my older guitar and paid a little bit more at Hoover Breeze and got this awesome little thing, which plugs in and, it does everything the other one does, but my hands actually reach some things, which is great. And I could take it on the plane, so I could put it above me, which was great because they lost my luggage.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So I feel like I listened to the right voice that day.
Oh my gosh, it's interesting because you do a lot of things. You know, the weddings. You do all kinds of festivals and coffee shops and breweries. I mean, you're all over the place. It's just crazy how much you seem to work, which is good. Because I don't know if this is your full time job. A lot of musicians have, you know,
I have a daytime job as well.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. But it's you keep yourself busy. You know, and only being here a few years, 3 years, yesterday, that you know you're known already. Then people are booking you everywhere. So you know, I mean, how did that? What are you doing to keep the things going like that?
You know, honestly, I don't know. I've been very fortunate. There are people when I first got here that really helped me to find and meet people.
Nice.
Nina Sophia that you've had in here from Nina and the Buffalo Riders.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal. Like when I first met Nina, I was blown away first off because I mean, you know it, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And I would go to the open mic night that she was hosting in Dearborn, and that's how I met Sheila and John at Dearborn Brewery. And that became sort of the first place that I was playing. And then I started to apply to some of the festivals and nearly died of shock when they said, yes, you can play. I was like, oh, thanks. And then from there, really, I guess, you know, just contacting people. And I also try and bring people into things that I'm doing as well, like a pay it forward kind of thing.
Okay.
I've been very fortunate that people have done that for me along the way. And so I try and do that now. So like the open mic night at Common Grace, that's an open mic night that's on once a month so that people of any age can come and play because a lot of the open mics are at bars.
Oh, that's true.
And so I'm like, well, where do the kids go? Like, where's the 14-year-old that needs to sing so that they don't feel bad tomorrow night? Like, where's the 12-year-old that wants to sing a song and feel good tonight? Like, where's the kid that could be the next Ed Sheeran that's suddenly giving up because they don't play anywhere? Like, where do those kids go?
I like your thinking. You really, you know, you do definitely the pay it forward. I mean, a lot of times people wouldn't even think of that, you know, that
it was so important to me that I like spoke to the owners at Common Grace, and I was like, look, I really want this night to be all about the fact that anyone, whether you're a grandpa or whether you're a grandkid, like I want you to come through the doors and do what you want to do. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to do a poem, do a poem. If you want to tell me a story and send me to sleep, you tell me a story and send me to sleep. I am here to listen to you. And we got a really good response. It obviously died down a little bit with the weather being cold because it's cold, and I don't blame people when it's really cold and you want to stay warm. Yeah. But we're really hoping that the night continues to grow. Purposefully made it on a Friday so that kids don't have school in the morning.
Good point, yeah.
And so that, you know, parents don't have to work in the morning too, which makes it a little bit more accessible. At the moment, it's 8 p.m. till 10 p.m., which, you know, we can probably look at making it earlier if that ends up being something that we get told. But mainly, it's just been incredible to hear the talent coming out of these kids. I mean, serious talent coming out of these kids. Like,
I would imagine. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, and just watching them grow as well. Like, I don't want to embarrass him, so I'm not going to say his name, but there's a guy in Dearborn that would come to the open mics, both at Dearborn Brewery and also at Common Grace. And I remember talking to him and just, like, giving him little pointers and being like, you know, you've got something. There's something in you. Like, go with it. And then I encouraged him to apply to a festival last year that I played at, and he did, and he got a place.
Oh.
And it was so good to go and watch him and to have seen him just go from, like, what I would call, like, a hobby where you've got hidden talent, but you're not really running with it yet. You're just doing your thing. And to watch the growth in him in the last, like, 8-9 months has been insane. Well, and, like, his parents still come out to the gigs when I'm playing, and he turns up. And so, like, what day are we on now? Tuesday? So Friday I was at the brewery playing a gig, and he comes along, and so every time when I'm going to take a break in the middle, I'll be like, do you want to play? Mm-hmm. And so now he comes, it's like a given thing now. If he's not there, I'm like, where is he? But it's awesome to hear him progressing, and now he's starting to write music as well, which is phenomenal. Wow. Like, seeing him find himself and find his voice has just been an incredible thing.
And many times, you know, especially the younger kids, they just need somebody to reinforce that you've got something here,
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can think that you're the next Whitney until someone tells you that you're actually more like the next Whiny.
Yeah.
And so you need, you know, and the worst thing that I hate to hear is when people are like, I can't sing. I'm like, you can sing. Like, everybody can sing. Are you going to sing the same as the person you're trying to compare yourself to? Probably not. But that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
if you go and listen to Dylan sing, and then you went and listened to Lionel Richie, tell me that neither of them are a singer when they sound miles apart. Like, they're both entertainers in their own right.
Right.
So, like, people that worry so much about what they sound like, I'm like, stop worrying. Someone out there wants that sound. They want to hear your sound. So be that. Like, don't worry about being a model cut out of something else.
That makes me think of, I think it's Macy Gray. Remember when she was on one of those shows and her voice was like, whoa, this is really out there.
Yeah,
and then all of a
it's
sudden
like,
people are like, I want the sound of Macy Gray. And so, I hope I'm saying the right name, but it was like,
I think
it was
it's like
so
the
different.
one with the like croak to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Because
it's
it was so unusual. When did you ever hear that voice? But then we joke now because I'm like, could you imagine if half of the performers that have been huge came out and sang now? Like some of the really deep baritone voices that you don't hear anymore, like, and they were huge. Like they were massive. They were the songs that people were running around singing, and I think it's incredible that people don't need to be the next thing that's already there. Like, be yourself. Because that's what people want to hear.
Yes. Good point. All right, Ash, we're going to do some questions here. These are just random questions. And just, whatever off top of your head. So,
okay.
The best advice ever given to you?
Don't sweat the small stuff.
That seems like you abide by that one for sure. If you were a spice, what would it be?
Tikka.
What?
Tikka.
Tikka?
Tikka masala. I love curry.
Oh, okay. Curry. Okay.
Yeah.
You said tikka. I'm not. What the heck is that? Okay. Okay, now you've only been a Michigan girl for 3 years, but I'm going to throw this one at you. Faygo, Verner's, or Town Club?
Town Club.
Okay.
But only one of the flavors, and it's the root beer in the glass bottle. There's nothing close to it.
Okay. I'll make sure I go check one of those out soon. All right, now you're Acoustic Ash, obviously acoustic guitar, you and guitar alone, but this question, if you could have any one person in your band or with you, and they could be dead or alive at this point, in your band or collaborate with, who would that be?
Tracy Chapman. It was her or John Mayer, and I went for Tracy.
Both good. Both good. Did she influence you or just...
Massively.
Okay.
Massively.
Yeah, she's got her own style too. And the voice, same thing.
And she doesn't really like media stuff. Like, I am one of those people, like, on stage, I can be myself and I can have a great time, and then I get off and I'm like, ground, really? Please follow me whole sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Do you find just you're so into it and everything, it's like your whole different world or something?
Yeah, it is. It's like a completely different space, like night and day.
Interesting. Very interesting. I would not have thought that. It's like, well, just like some people that have stage fright, it's like they have to get in this whole different mindset to go up on stage. So it's not that you have stage fright, obviously not.
I think it's the opposite. I think I have life fright, and I'm stage okay and life fright.
Never heard of that. Okay, that's a new term. Life fright. Oh, okay. I'm going to skip that one. Let's see. Do you have a favorite Detroit museum?
Motown.
Okay, yeah, definitely good. Most people like that one. Craziest fan experience?
I want to say best rather than craziest,
okay,
I think.
Sure.
Because it was crazy to me, but it was the best thing. One of fans, I hate that word. Okay. One of the people that follows my music couldn't come out to a show because she'd been really poorly. That's English for sick.
Okay.
And she'd end up having to have back surgery. And so this one show that we played not too long ago, she was able to make it out to, and her friends brought her to surprise her.
Oh.
And I didn't know that she was there yet, so I sat at the front, and I got this tap on my shoulder. She's like, would you come and meet her? And I'm like, yeah, of course, absolutely. So I went back to meet her and gave her a hug, and she told me that, like, literally I had been the thing getting her through the last few months. Now I was like, people ask you what success is, right?
Yeah.
And I always answer with, it depends on how you define success. Like, if I've successfully made someone want to wake up and see the next day, then I have succeeded in what I want to be as a musician. So it was almost like, it was great because I helped someone get through something hard, and it was great because it made me know that I was doing the right thing. So craziest and best all in one.
Nice. Oh, what a great story.
Shout out, because I know that she'll be listening as well.
Okay. Awesome. Wow. You know, just your whole attitude, your whole outlook is just more people need to be like you. It's just, oh my gosh.
I think a lot of times it was difficult because people can sometimes think that you're fake because they don't know you. Like, especially someone like me. Like, I haven't been around all this time, so they don't know me. But, like, my friends just started our high school year reunion page. And it's so good, like, connecting with people that you haven't spoken to in years and still seeing that they remember you that way as well. It's like, I'm glad that that is, like, the way that people see me and that they know that this is actually who I am. Like, I don't have time to pretend. Don't have time to pretend to be anything else.
I bet you're right at a party, too. Correct?
After a couple of drinks.
Okay.
Until that point, I'm like, I'll just watch
that
everybody
live
have
fright.
a good time.
Yeah.
The life fright goes after a couple of shots.
What is your shot of choice?
Johnny Vegas. All day. That was our wedding drink as well.
Okay. If you had to share a 15-minute taxi ride with someone, who would that be?
Barack Obama.
Oh. What would you ask him?
Everything. Everything. I think the first thing I would want to know is who his biggest influence was, who he hopes he made the proudest, and just a series of questions that, just for me, like, how are you so awesome? Like, the questions that he probably couldn't even answer, I just want to ask him, like, and does he even know, like, how much of an impact he made on people, like, 3,000 plus miles away when he ran for president? Mm-hmm. Yes, Barack Obama all
Interesting.
day.
Okay.
We wrote to the White House when we got married.
Uh-huh.
Because we got told that you could write to the White House and invite them to your wedding, so we did.
Okay.
And they couldn't make it, but they sent us back a card that said, like, congratulations, and we have it framed at home because it's from Barack and Michelle, so we were like, yep, that's going on the wall.
I bet you would. Yeah, that would be.
I was devastated. He came here and I had to work that day. I was like, no, Barack, not today.
All right, fill in the blank. I'm really good at blank. I'm really bad at blank.
I'm really good at directing how to clean. I'm really bad at doing the cleaning.
Oh my gosh. If time and money didn't matter, what would you be doing?
Traveling the world and making all the difference I could make with anything I could. Whether it was building a shack or swimming in an ocean, whatever it was.
I kind of had a feeling that would be part of this answer. With you. I had just something told me that's you.
I'd love to go and help, like, with building the schools and stuff and bringing music to kids that have maybe never even heard the sound of a guitar. But one day when when money and the time isn't an issue, like, that's something I'd love to do. Or go and play music to dogs that have been abandoned, because I did see that once and I was like, I would love to do that with my life.
Really? You play music for the dogs?
Yep. I love animals. There's a guy, I think it's a veteran, but I'm not entirely sure, so I don't want to lie to you.
Okay.
But he goes to the animal shelters and plays to the animals that are in the confinement so that they're not on their own.
Wow, I never heard of that. That is so cool.
Isn't it? Isn't it, though?
And I can imagine the dogs, how they react.
Like, I'm sure that at first it's probably a bit chaotic, but then I believe they probably settle and just to have that company there, because I get really sad when I think about animals in different places.
Yeah.
Like, we fostered dogs for a little while too, while we could, because we just love animals. But I always said, like, if I had all the money in the world, I would take care of all the animals that we could possibly give enough love to at once, and then pay someone else to do the same thing, and pay someone else to do the same thing.
You would be, and I don't know who this is. I'm pretty sure there's, and it might have been an actress or not, but they bought this property, like acres and hundreds of acres, and just loaded with abused and neglected animals, running free. on all these hundreds of acres, and it's a lot of food and care and everything,
Yeah.
but these animals are in heaven, just
Listen, there is
living.
no one that loves you more than
Yeah,
your pet.
and
in
I
the
can see
morning.
you doing that.
Okay, I am ridiculous. I have a hoodie that says Dad's best friend with me and Ozzy on it. My Ozzy is my dog.
Okay.
We have Gemini and Ozzy. Gemini was rescued from the Michigan Humane Society. And she was the only dog in there that didn't get up. She was just lying on the floor and she
Aw.
was all sad-eyed looking up. And I got down on the floor and I was like, "Hey, baby, do you want a new home?" And she looked up and her eyes kind of glistened. I was like, "We found her."
Oh.
So we took her home and we were duped because she was so quiet for the first 2 weeks. I was like, "We've got the laziest dog in the world." We do
No.
not have the laziest dog in the world.
What happened after 2 weeks?
She's like super energetic. She's so loving. And then Ozzy's owner passed away from a heart attack, and they put on Facebook like he has nowhere to go. And we were like, okay, we'll just go see him. We'll just go see him to see if he's got anywhere to go. And he walked out, and he had been overfed. He was this big, round Cairn Terrier, belly dragging on the floor. And I was like, well, he looks just like me.
Oh.
So we decided that we'd take a chance and we'd take him home. And I was saying to Katie the whole drive back, I'm like, well, he's your dog because I've got Gemini, so this is your dog now.
That's funny.
Ozzy had other plans. He's my dog and doesn't leave my side.
Oh, my goodness. All right, one more question here. Let's see. If you could be on the cover of a magazine, which one? Might be. Okay. No.
Maybe it'll be the day that I buy massive amounts of land and have billions of dogs. It'll be like Pet Rescue Magazine or something like that.
I was going to say, or Time, Person of the Year because of all the things and charities and the good heart you have. There you go.
I don't know. I don't mind if people don't even know that I had anything to do with it. I just hope it can make a difference. I don't need recognition for it.
That's from the time we spent here today. That's the kind of the gist of the person you are that we're getting just from sitting here and talking with you. So I would love to hear another song if you have one available.
I will play you the newest one that was written this week.
Okay, awesome. Brand new.
This one's called Chasing the Moon. You said that you don't like when the work week lasts forever. These days we seem to spend more time apart than together. Days go quickly and the nights go quickly too. I just want to spend more time getting lost in you. 'Cause these nights just ain't the same if they ain't nights with you. Driving with the windows down, jamming out to our favorite tunes. And these nights I come alive when I am next to you. Trying to freeze time, stealing the night, running from the sun but chasing the moon with you. With you, with you. Running from the sun but chasing the moon with you. I still remember the time when we drove through Ohio. We had our first fight, but in the end I made you smile. It's true that sometimes we don't see eye to eye. But I always wanna come home to you at night. 'Cause these nights just ain't the same if they ain't nights with you. Driving with the windows down, jamming out to our favorite tunes. And these nights I come alive when I am next to you. Trying to freeze time, stealing the night, running from the sun but chasing the moon with you. With you, with you. Running from the sun but chasing the moon with you. I don't wanna see the sunrise. I don't want this night to end. stop the clock, now we're on my time. And damn it, don't you start that thing again. 'Cause these nights just ain't the same if they ain't nights with you. Driving with the windows down, jamming out to our favorite tunes. And these nights I come alive when I am next to you. Trying to steal time, freezing the night, running from the sun but chasing the moon with you.
Brand new song.
Brand new.
So this new EP that you're working on, EP/LP, you're not sure yet. When do you expect this to be out?
I'm hoping by sort of June, July time.
Okay.
So just in time for festival season. Also in time for me to not put myself under too much pressure.
Yeah, you want to be ready. Festivals, people like to walk away, and that's the time when you're playing and they hear you fresh and they're like, oh, I got to have this music. So that's the best time to sell your CDs.
It is, and I'm the worst business person. Seriously, like...
Really?
Because I'm all about the music and not about the merch. So, like, I tried doing merchandise for a little while and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I just can't. I know that I only paid $10 for this and I can't charge someone $15 because it was only $10. So, I'm like, at least with the CD, like, if they want to buy it, they can buy it. If they don't, then they don't. Like, there's no... I don't care if people want to walk around with my name showing on them. Like, it's great that people want to show their support that way, but I just... If you want to support me, then instead of, like, giving your friend the CD to copy, like, ask them to buy a copy of the CD.
Well said, yes, yeah.
You know?
It's a problem for musicians. Yes, I know, unfortunately. So
equally, though, if you find someone that has no money and they want to hear it, then give it to them. I don't care either way.
Just give it to them, but then, maybe go get another one. There you go. So for people that do want to buy your music, where's the best place?
Right now, it's only online.
Okay.
And there's only, like, 4 tracks.
Okay.
Four tracks.
Okay.
But you can get it on, like, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, like, all the online...
The normal
media.
stuff. Yeah. The normal place.
I never even know. I hear people say this spiel at gigs, and I'm like, wow, you said that really well. And every time I'm like, how do I... Social? No. Multimedia? No, that sounds like I'm 50. I don't know how... The places where you buy your music that isn't a solid CD or LP, go there.
Next time someone says it, just make mental note, okay?
Right.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my gosh. All right. So, and then your website, because you, like I said earlier, you're out everywhere. It seems like you've got so many things booked already. So people want to follow you or go see you live. Where's the best place to find that information?
Just Facebook / the Acoustic Ash. It's the same on Instagram. And I do post up everything as much as I can, as soon as I can. So, equally, if anybody wants to book me, they can go there and contact me. Because, I will play anywhere that people will have me. Like, I just love music.
Have you ever done, house concerts?
I am actually going to be playing at a friend's party at their house in July or August.
Okay.
Without a calendar, I'm rubbish at this.
Yeah.
But house parties are something that I'm definitely interested in doing, and a few people have approached me about them in the past, and I've said, yeah, absolutely, like, I'm down.
I can see you doing those because you're so, connected, and you have fun, and you it's not just like stand out there, play music, whatever.
Right.
You're more involved, interacting with the crowd. So I think I can see you doing well at those kinds of things. Very small and intimate, and
yeah, I mean, I don't care if it's one person, I don't care if it's 1,000 people. Like, there's just something about music that changes the world, So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And your music is, relates that, and how your songwriting is. So it's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun having you on the show today. We appreciate you coming in and
Thank
playing
you so
for
much
us
for
and
having
chatting.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I never had a chance to sit down and talk with you. I'm so glad we finally got you in here because you're kind of crazy. I like it. Fun stuff. Thank you so much. And
Thank
again,
you.
Acoustic Ash, you can find her all over the place. Just Google that. You'll find her on the Facebook and all the different music platforms.
To buy
Platforms.
places, music.
You had me stumped for a minute there. All right. Well, again, thank you.
Digital media stores. That's what they
There
are.
you go. There you go. This, you know what? That could be a song of all the confusion of
Right.
I can see you writing that one. Thanks to all of you out there for tuning in. As always, I do appreciate that from our beautiful Music Town studios here in the second floor, on the second floor of Hockeytown, downtown Detroit. And until next time, I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.